Hello. Now we know that the situation in Middle East is hot, and there are naval assets of the United States there in that region, and the situation is hot not only between Israel and Palestine front, but also on Israel Lebanon front, and also there are attacks by missiles and drones from the Houthis there in Yemen. Now there has been reports and two articles, one in the Politico and another one in the National Review. And the one from Politico, the main one, it writes in multiple high level meetings this week, the Pentagon neither briefed President Joe Biden an option to strike Houthi targets nor recommended that he do so, two of the officials said. Now, the commander in chief in the hierarchy of the US system is Joe Biden, and the Pentagon give him options what should he do or what should the US military do in such situations. But now what we feel that Mr. Joe Biden is not being briefed about many of the things happening, or he is not being given option of retaliation in such circumstances by the Pentagon. Now this shows that there is a deep distrust between many high officials there in Pentagon, in the deep state, and Mr. Joe Biden, the president of the United States. And there might be reasons behind that. All these ships and American naval assets which are there in that region are almost one third the naval capacity and capabilities of the United States. And we can presume that they were there to fulfill the old project of those in the US administration to whom we call neocons. And that old business which they want to do is attack on Iran. So they were sent there by the President of United States, Mr. Joe Biden himself. But now when the things are expanding, and we should not forget that Red Sea area, it is very important because it is an entry point to the Suez Canal. So financially, vis-a-vis international transport, maritime transport, that region is definitely very important. Now, why the deep state or the Pentagon officials do not want to brief to their commander in chief regarding the options, what they should do? Because I think that they do not trust his capacities to restrain himself, because many in the deep state do not want the expansion of the conflict. They have already seen what happened there in case of Ukraine when they expanded it, when they fully supported it, and now they have lost it. They have also seen what happened with Saudi Arabia when it was supplied by all kind of arms and ammunition for fighting a Yemen war. And ultimately, Saudi Arabia has to come with terms in that war after inflicting so many casualties and spending lot of fortunes. So they don't want the expansion because they know that if the horizon of the war or the conflict expands, definitely Russia will come into picture. And if somehow Iran is being involved in this crisis or an attack is being done on Iran, Russia will come into picture. We should not forget there were just handful of countries which militarily supported Russia in the Ukraine war, and the top among them was Iran. So it's a time, it will be, if there is an attack on Iran, it will be a time for Putin to pay back to Iran and also pay back to United States of America. And Commander in Chief, Mr. Joe Biden, doesn't have restraint on himself. That is the reason probably he is not being briefed. We have seen Pentagon towing a different line or disobeying the precedents. During the end days of Trump regime, Donald Trump ordered the withdrawal of troops from Syria, but the deep state was not willing for it and they disobeyed, and they were wanting to expand the conflict. Now this time it is just reverse. Right now they are not briefing Joe Biden the options what they can do against those Houthi targets, probably because they don't want to expand the conflict. They are having foresight of Russian involvement if Iran is also involved. So they are this time disobeying with just a reverse scenario, in just a reverse scenario as compared to Trump. And probably they also understand that Joe Biden is not Donald Trump, whatever you may call him, but he restrained and he showed restraint. Remember, during the affair of Soleimani, he showed restraint and he avoided a very potential conflict with Iran. So I think the deep state is not trusting Mr. Joe Biden and is disobeying, not disobeying, but they are not giving him options, they are not giving him proper briefings to avoid the conflict to expand. This is my take on the two articles, one in Politico and another one from the National Review. I will put the links of those articles in the description. Goodbye.